What if one of history's most influential figures was also a master negotiator? Jesus, known for his wisdom and compassion, navigated complex conversations with remarkable skill. He persuaded crowds, handled difficult questions, and influenced powerful leaders, all without manipulation or force. His approach was rooted in patience, empathy, and deep understanding. In today's business world, negotiation is a key skill. Whether closing a deal, managing a team, or resolving conflict, the ability to influence others is essential. By looking at Jesus' methods, we can uncover timeless strategies that apply to modern business and leadership. This video will explore Jesus' negotiation tactics and how they can help you become a more persuasive and influential leader. Let's dive in. Jesus as a master negotiator. Jesus was not just a teacher or healer. He was also a brilliant communicator. He engaged with people from all walks of life, from religious leaders to tax collectors, from the poor to the powerful. Every conversation he had carried purpose, and he often found ways to turn difficult situations into opportunities for deeper understanding. One of his greatest strengths was his ability to stay calm under pressure. When the Pharisees tried to trap him with tricky questions, he never reacted with anger or defensiveness. Instead, he responded with wisdom, using logic, parables, and powerful questions to shift the conversation. For example, when asked whether it was right to pay taxes to Caesar, Jesus didn't fall into their trap. Instead, he held up a coin and said, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." With one sentence, he avoided conflict, made his point clear, and left his opponent speechless. Jesus' negotiation style wasn't about winning at all costs. It was about leading people to the truth. He knew how to connect with others, frame his words carefully, and create win-win situations. His approach teaches us that negotiation isn't just about getting what we want, but about guiding conversations toward wisdom, fairness, and mutual understanding. Principle number 1. The power of listening. One of Jesus' greatest strengths as a communicator was his ability to listen. He never rushed to respond or forced his opinions on others. Instead, he took time to understand people, their needs, struggles, and unspoken concerns. By doing this, he built trust and created space for real conversation. A perfect example of this is Jesus' encounter with the Samaritan woman at the well. Instead of immediately preaching to her, he started by asking a simple question. "Will you give me a drink?" This opened the door for dialogue. He listened as she spoke about her life, her doubts, and her beliefs. Only after fully hearing her did he share deeper truths that changed her perspective. In business, active listening is just as powerful. When negotiating a deal or resolving a conflict, the best way to gain influence is to understand the other person's perspective. People are more likely to trust and work with someone who makes them feel heard. By following Jesus' example, asking thoughtful questions, paying close attention, and responding with wisdom, you can build stronger relationships and negotiate more effectively. Principle number 2. Empathy and understanding. Jesus didn't just listen. He truly understood people. He saw beyond their words and into their hearts. His ability to connect with others came from his deep sense of empathy. He didn't judge based on status, background, or mistakes. Instead, he met people where they were and addressed their real needs. One powerful example is the story of the Good Samaritan. When a man was left beaten on the road, religious leaders passed by without helping. But a Samaritan, a member of a group often looked down upon, stopped, cared for the injured man, and paid for his recovery. Jesus used this story to teach that true influence comes from understanding and compassion, not just authority or knowledge. In business, empathy is a game changer. Whether negotiating a deal, leading a team, or handling a difficult client, stepping into the other person's shoes builds trust and strengthens relationships. Instead of focusing only on your own goals, consider what the other person truly needs. When people feel understood, they become more open to collaboration, making negotiations smoother and more successful. Principle number 3. The power of questions. Jesus was a master at using questions to guide conversations. Instead of giving direct answers, he often responded with thought-provoking questions that challenged assumptions and encouraged deeper reflection. This approach made people think for themselves rather than just accept what they were told. One striking example is when Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do you say I am?" Instead of telling them what to believe, he invited them to form their own conclusions. His questions weren't meant to trap or confuse, but to lead people to greater understanding. In business, asking the right questions can be a powerful tool. In negotiations, questions can uncover hidden motivations, reveal key concerns, and open the door to creative solutions. Instead of making demands or assumptions, try asking, "What is most important to you in this deal?" Or how can we find a solution that benefits us both? Thoughtful questions shift the conversation from conflict to collaboration, just as Jesus did. Principle number 4. Patience and timing. Jesus understood that the right words at the wrong time could fall on deaf ears. He knew when to speak, when to wait, and when to let silence do the work. His patience allowed him to handle tough situations with wisdom and grace. A great example is his encounter with Zacchaeus, the wealthy tax collector. Instead of confronting him about his corruption, Jesus simply said, "I must stay at your house today." He didn't pressure Zacchaeus to change. He gave him time. As a result, Zacchaeus willingly repented and chose to give back what he had taken. Jesus' patience led to transformation. In business, timing is everything. Pushing too hard can make negotiations fall apart, while waiting too long can mean missed opportunities. The best negotiators know when to speak up, when to listen, and when to give the other party space to make a decision. By practicing patience like Jesus, you can create an environment where real, lasting agreements are made. Principle number 5. Leading by example. Jesus didn't just teach powerful lessons. He lived them. His influence came not from titles or force, but from his actions. He practiced humility, integrity, and service, showing others what true leadership looked like. One of the most striking examples is when Jesus washed his disciples' feet. In that time, washing feet was the job of a servant, not a leader. Yet, Jesus knelt before his followers and performed this act of humility. Afterward, he told them, "I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you." He didn't just tell them to serve others. He showed them how. In business, actions speak louder than words. A great leader doesn't just demand respect. They earn it by being honest, hardworking, and fair. Whether in negotiations, team leadership, or client relationships, leading by example builds trust and credibility. When people see that you practice what you preach, they are far more likely to follow your lead. Principle number 6. Creating win-win solutions. Jesus always sought outcomes that benefited everyone involved. He didn't just focus on his own needs but looked for ways to bring harmony and mutual benefit, even in difficult situations. His ability to find win-win solutions made him a master of resolving conflicts and building relationships. A powerful example is Jesus' interaction with the Roman centurion in Matthew 8 verses 5 to 13. The centurion, a high-ranking officer, asked Jesus to heal his servant. Jesus, amazed by the centurion's faith, agreed to heal the servant, saying, "Go, let it be done just as you believed it would." This solution worked for both the centurion and Jesus, respecting both their positions and creating a positive outcome for all. In business, win-win solutions are key to long-term success. Negotiations don't have to be zero-sum, where one party wins and the other loses. By focusing on what each side truly needs and finding common ground, you can create agreements where everyone benefits. When you prioritize fairness and collaboration over competition, you build lasting relationships and trust. Just as Jesus did, approach every negotiation with the goal of making both sides feel valued and respected. Principle number 7. Confidence in your values. Jesus never compromised his values, even when facing pressure from powerful leaders or large crowds. He stood firm in his beliefs, yet he did so with wisdom, humility, and unwavering confidence. His strength came from knowing his mission and staying true to it, no matter the cost. A powerful example is his conversation with Pontius Pilate before his crucifixion. Pilate asked if Jesus was a king, trying to determine if he was a political threat. Jesus calmly responded, "My kingdom is not of this world." He didn't beg for freedom or alter his message to please others. Instead, he remained true to his purpose, even when it led to great personal sacrifice. In business, staying true to your values is just as important. Negotiations often involve pressure to bend ethical lines or prioritize profit over principles. But the most respected leaders are those who stand by their beliefs. When you are confident in your values, whether it's honesty, fairness, or integrity, you gain the trust of others and build a reputation that lasts. True influence comes not from saying what people want to hear, but from standing firm in what you know is right. Applying Jesus' negotiation tactics in modern business. Jesus was a master negotiator, not because he used force or manipulation, but because he understood people. He listened, asked the right questions, showed empathy, and stayed true to his values. His approach wasn't about winning arguments. It was about guiding conversations toward truth, wisdom, and mutual benefit. In business, these same principles can set you apart. Active listening builds trust, patience leads to better deals, and asking thoughtful questions uncovers real needs. Leading by example earns respect, and staying confident in your values ensures long-term success. The best negotiators don't seek to overpower others, they seek solutions that benefit everyone. As you navigate your own business negotiations, take a lesson from Jesus. Approach conversations with wisdom, humility, and purpose. When you do, you'll not only close better deals. You'll build relationships, earn trust, and create lasting success. Now, think about your own experiences. Which of these principles do you already use? Which ones can you improve? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on business and leadership.